Gradey Dick's one of my favorite players to watch in the country because not only is he a shooter, but I think he's explosive in transition. He does a lot of different things. He's multifaceted. 25 points tonight, 6 for 12 from three. I mean, as a freshman, look, you can say you're a shooter all you want, but to actually go out and perform against a good NC State team, you got to actually make shots. You can be a shooter, but are you a maker? Why has Gradey Dick been so good this year for Kansas, Kevin?
I think because he doesn't force a lot, right? I think with freshmen, it's natural to press when things aren't necessarily going your way. And I thought in the Champions Classic game they played against Duke, that was a great example of him playing with maturity beyond his years and just making good decisions. They even took him out of the game for some key stretches, and he didn't pout. He came in, he made the next shot, and it was a huge shot that won him the game. He can obviously get hot. He has a super high release point, and it's just going to be very difficult to block his shot. I know he had one get knocked down in this game, but for the most part, like, that dude is going to get it out fast, and it's going to be over your head before you know it. I just think. Go ahead, Tio. What you got?
He's a dude.
Yeah, another dude.
Definition.
Another guy that Jayhawk fans should enjoy while they have, because I do not assume that he would be there for more than 1 year. But he's a great shooter, ball mover. He fits into Kansas' identity, I think, really, really well. And I think especially for this team, because they don't have that post presence that I think Kansas teams are used to having. They're playing a little bit more 5-out with KJ Adams and his ability to bring energy and be a screener, but you're not throwing it on the block. I think the ability to have a guy who is open and ready to shoot at any given time when everyone else is able to penetrate and drive and kick, I think that's super valuable for this offense. And Grady's really fit in like a glove.
I'm glad you asked the best
by
shooter.
The way.
I'm glad you asked the best shooter first. Kevin Sweeney, absolute knockdown shooter. But no, he's absolutely right. He doesn't force the issue. And another thing too is he's always on balance. He's never rushed. He's never fading away. He's very disciplined with his shot, and couple that with his really high release point. And at 6'6" ish, I've seen him walking through the casino. He's 6'6". I think they have him listed at 6'7". That's generous. That's a generous measurement. But he
break out a ruler, see what tape measure, see him in the casino.
Yeah, that would
time for a second.
Yeah, hey dude, pull over for a second. Let me get. Yeah. But anyway, long story short, always on balance, high release point, and he doesn't force the issue, and he's always moving. And not only is he moving, he's staying disciplined off the ball, meaning whenever somebody drives, he's there ready to shoot it right away. And the fact that he is so much bigger than a lot of the guys that guard him obviously helps. And you say he might not be there for a long time. I could certainly understand that. He can shoot the basketball, but I think he would actually benefit more at the next level when there's even more space because of that high release point. Is there Kyle Korver in his game? I don't know.
That's what I was about to say. You just took it out of my mouth.
You know what? I'm so sorry about that. I actually think he looks and plays very similar with the ball in his hands to Kyle Singler, how he used to do it. I mean, almost looks similar. And I played against Kyle when he was at Duke. Very similar in how they attack in the open floor, how they're setting themselves up. Singler wasn't the shooter that Gradey Dick is, but still very similar in their approach.
Dick's ability to, again, understand spacing on the floor when you have drivers going to the basket, he's sliding, but he's a freshman, and this is such a faster pace than AAU or high school, and he's already able to catch up to that level and perform at the level that he is performing at. I think he's been wildly impressive. He's my pick right now for freshman of the year. Kansas as a whole right now, Kevin, what's their trajectory for you after seeing what they've done so far in this tournament?
They just find ways to win. I mean, it's the same thing with the Champions Classic game. Like, I don't think they've played their best game yet. They've been through some battles. They didn't play great against Southern Utah last week, but there's just, again, I think an understanding of what it takes to win at the highest level, and that's when you have Jalen Wilson, Kevin McCullough, DeJuan Harris back. And I think Dick, to his credit, is really, really mature and fits into that mold. I mean, he's a winning player without question. So I just think they're very polished to know how to. I think it will be interesting to see how they're able to score against high-level Big 12 defenses who don't necessarily have to guard DeJuan Harris from deep and don't have to worry about interior post threat, right? Teams that are super long and super athletic, I wonder how consistently they'll be able to score when you can sag off the point guard and you don't have to fear that Kansas big man presence of David McCormick and Udoka Azubuike. The list goes on and on. I think that's the one thing that maybe holds me back with this group. But the way that Jalen Wilson has scored the ball has been a revelation. I did not think he would make this level of a jump as a scorer, and his ability to go get one at all three levels. And then obviously Dick and McCullough are great secondary options as well.
Why is he not a better shooter, Jalen? I can't figure it out.
It looks good coming off too.
It looks great coming off his hand. He's got pretty good balance, like elbows in the whole nine. It's like it just doesn't go in. It's the craziest thing I think I've seen. What did he go 0 for 7 in the Champions Classic? I think he was 2 for something today. He got a lot of shots up. I think his aggressiveness and his physicality at the forward spot helps. Ernest Uday, I think, could develop into that next big, right? But I like KJ Adams at the 5, and it gives you play calling flexibility.
Yeah.
Like with different 5 men, one guy that facilitates more so on the outside, another guy that functions better on the interior. And depending on who's in there, that obviously helps things. But DeJuan Harris, man, people don't appreciate that kid enough. Like, he's guarding his tail off. He makes shots around the rim there's a couple of floaters and stuff, guys, like he had no business making. And for some reason, he is just crafty around the rim and just finds ways to score. And he's an excellent passer as well. They just move the ball. It helps when you've had a coaching staff that's been together for a long time that helped Bill Self while he was not there. But any Bill Self coach team is just going to find a way to win.